A full driving review of the updated Kia Sportage. What's new? And I always call it the non-BS car or SUV. What do I mean by that? And what's new? Everything of that with Thomas and How to Go Fuel in 4K, full screen, full length. Let's go with the updated front. A wider design here for all the different trims. It looks like a small Kia Sorento now, although this is here the smaller Sportage, the smaller brother in the GT line, which we have here today. High gloss black, also here in the lower elements, so especially more contrast if you have the white exterior color. Also new headlamp design here with the daytime running lights. It looks cool, especially also with the turning indicators in this star map design that was introduced with the Kia EV9. However, this one here, combustion engine, pure petrol, inbuilt hybrid, plug-in hybrid, diesel, soon more to the choices, and 17 to 19-inch wheels. These are 19-inch wheels, biggest ones that are available here in this GT line. Black styling once again, and more high gloss black elements here and here and here throughout this vehicle. 4.55 meters or 179 inches is the length, compact segment, and new tail lamps here, a more modern design. So I think visually it works very well. Or what do you think? Tell me in the comments. Got the GT line badge here, and unique for the GT line here you also get the ECS, the electronically controlled suspension. So it's the adaptive suspension for the GT line we are driving today. So that means when you put the sport mode, the suspension is also a little bit stiffer then. Under the hood, all about the 1.6 liter 4-cylinder turbo engine. Petrol here, the normal petrol one is the most sold one, 150 horsepower front-wheel drive, 180 horsepower all-wheel drive. Have it here combined with a DCT, dual clutch transmission, automatic. And this one here is also a little bit increased in the horsepower tune now, the all-wheel drive version. Then there's an inbuilt hybrid, which also gets more power now. And also a plug-in hybrid of the Fejslift is also to come. And also 1.6 liter turbo diesel is available. The exact facts and figures we also have always in a separate data comment for you. Towards the interior with a new key fob here, which has a very interesting surface, like a matte-ish surface. Feels really cool, nice. Then door closing sound. That's good. Also for the rear, maybe just like the, but these are actually also quite okay. So nothing to complain here at all. Then inside of the doors, here is somewhat soft and also with a structure with the GT line with a microfiber inside here. It's also softer for the elbow, could be maybe a little bit softer. Interesting door handles from the inside, memory seating is available, no covering at the inside of the doors here, and Harman Kardon sound system. And we have a completely new steering wheel, and in the GT line, two-tone, soon more details to that. Completely new cockpit for the Kia Sportage facelift here, horizontal format 2 times 12.3 inch. Dashboard here is not super soft, but at least structured, and reducing high gloss black. You do have something here, but here not. And also they took away the high gloss black from the middle console, that we have a different structure here. By the way, if you see this detail here, not sure if you can see it on camera, I think that was a sticker for the winter tire limit, which was placed before here. Also real buttons here for seat cooling, seat heating, heated steering wheel, easy to access. I love that. And you also have this new climate unit here, for example, where you can individualize 2-zone AC, or you can also use it for some hotkeys. You can change that. We have seen this unit here with the recent Kia EVs, for example, as well. So a little bit cleaned up. At the same time, you still have physical interface. That's pretty cool. This turning jog basically for the gear selection in the middle here. Then middle console, this is somewhat soft for your elbow. The only thing here, this is not like super well attached, and a lot of space underneath, more space in the front here. And you can also extend the cup holders by pressing here. Show that to you again. Goes quite quickly. It's very interesting. They're not very adaptive though, gotta say that. And with the GT line, seats here, pretty cool. 2-color effect. High-grade leatherette, feels really soft. Perforation in the middle, because there's also the seat cooling, so that's cool. Then you're basically, yeah, fit for every kind of climate and temperature. That's pretty cool. And the GT line also gets the 2-tone steering wheel, 2-spoke design, completely new steering wheel. This is also animal-free material, and it really feels high quality. So Kia shows the way, even in the non-premium segment. And you have to think about, yeah, this is a high-trim vehicle, but still not super expensive in comparison to premium products, but you have premium materials and also real physical interface. Also here, turning jog for the volume at the steering wheel, and showed you this unit here in the lower part before. So it's that's what I mean by non-BS vehicle. You can control everything straightforward. As for the seating position, it's really comfortable in the seats, so I'm really happy. The only thing is when you're tall like me, 189, 6'2", it's maybe not the most ideal from this situation here, how the knee is kind of like caged in here with the middle console. That's hard here on this side. And with the steering wheel, on the one hand, I have to put it lower, that I can control it very well, but then again, it gets close here. So maybe not the most ideal for the tallest guys, but I think it's still okay. It's not bad. And then here, 189, 6'2", there's still some headroom left. Again, as I said, more headroom when you would not have the panoramic roof, because that gets a little bit close here, but as I said, it still works. So overall, pretty cool cockpit. Also here with the updates. Driver POV, once again here with the real buttons at the steering wheel, here also to easily deactivate the lane keeping assist, for example. And here on the right side, very important with the volume jog, press and hold deactivates the EU speed limit shine. That's a nice new shortcut introduced with the EV3, now carried over to the Sportage facelift. Digital instruments, clear to read, for example, soon the consumption figures. The infotainment system itself, yeah, it's not the most spectacular one, honestly. And the internal GPS is, yeah, probably not the one you would always use. Most of the time, you would just go with the smartphone mirroring, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and that's it, honestly. Now to the rear seats. Inside of the door, this is here hardback in the rear, however, but a very cool door handle, I feel. Why not? And then the GT line with microfiber inserts, it's beautiful. And also here in the high trim, you have seat heating for the rear seats. No cover here, the small pocket on the inside. Harman Kardon sound system has another speaker here in the back part. And then here, this is the adjustment of the back seat. And you can see this is the best cargo position, so you can get out even more liters. That's maybe also a reason why it has so many liters in the figures, because you can really use this cargo position or the more laid back position for the passengers. Also the high grade leatherette perforated in the rear, ISOFIX outside each. There's no cover, but also not really needed. So it feels really nice here as well. Then you have the integrated jacket hangers here. You can just put the jacket over it here, so it's a good idea. USB-C chargers in the seats for the rear passengers is a nice integration, I feel. You have a rear climate unit here as well, some storage, and then the cup holders go down here. They're not adaptive though. You can also use this ski hatch, by the way, and fold just this part. And seating position is most comfortable, probably laid back, but you can also make it a little bit more upright yourself with this lever next to the seat if you prefer that. And that looks funny, right? Yo. Then headroom here with the panoramic roof, a little bit limited with 189 6x2. It still works. Maybe go without the panoramic roof if you want more headroom. This is the panoramic roof that you can actually really open. That's why it's costing some headroom, and we can very well see it from the rear. But at least it's good that we still have one that we can. Large. It's really large, yeah. It's really large, yeah. Okay. And here you can also have this shade. So when it's really hot summer day, then you also have this available. So yeah, it's good. When at least if you want one, you still have one available. Legroom here, there's still legroom left, although we are in the compact segment. So think about that. Larger cars often have even less legroom. So overall, good results here for the rear seating experience. Trunk or boot, have an electric hatch here. Official figure is 590 liters. Here we go. This one fits in underneath, no problem. There's a meter of 40 inches between the wheel arches, a little bit higher here. The length here is about 34 inches or 86 centimeters, and the height is at 73 centimeters or 29 inches. Here with the pure petrol engine. Also have some space underneath here, small storage boxes. And what's cool, that we have a remote unlock here. Not everyone has that anymore. And look at that, they fold really quickly and fold directly flat. Nice also how the transitions are done here, so that's pretty cool. And then the full length to the seat in front of us here is at 67 inches or 1.70 meters. Let's start driving the facelifted Kia Sportage here with the GT line, 19-inch wheels. We have the ECS, the electronically controlled suspension. all-wheel drive version, 180 horsepower of this 1.6 liter turbo petrol engine, and we go through city driving, we go to the German Autobahn and everything. One quick remark, by the way, we found so many nice things here with this vehicle, and you might ask yourself, why would I need to pay an extra premium price for German premium, for example? There are still some minor differences. For example, when you put down the window, it's like bang, hammers in, whereas like a premium SUV, you have a smooth opening and closing of the window. Maybe you don't care, but I just want to mention like where are some small nuances. And let's start driving a little bit here in the city. Steering is really light, definitely without much feel to it. Oh, the speed chime, yes, I can just press and hold and then it's off. So good to have this new shortcut. I have a all-wheel drive lock here, by the way, a button here on the right side. Oh, have you seen that old 300 SL convertible? Then here on the left side, I can control the different modes: sport, eco, normal. Yeah, it changes here to this red mode. Do you already feel a difference in suspension?
Yeah.
So here it's should be a little bit rougher than a little bit sport, yeah,
yeah,
definitely. Yeah, but let's start in normal mode. We can go to the sport when we go to the Autobahn very soon. The shifting is here DCT, dual clutch transmission, and it's similar to what you feel on other vehicles with a dual clutch transmission. I'm more a fan of converter automatic gearboxes because they seem a little bit, more natural in the transition of the gears. But here so far, not that notable, I would say. And when we go here some slalom, left and right, you have a good feeling of the vehicle. You feel that you're driving a compact SUV. It's actually not too large, and we have set the seat cooling into level 1 actually, and that is already like really notable.
Very cold here.
You feel that when you set it to level 3, it's like blowing you off the chair. So this is definitely proof here. These seats here definitely hot summer day proof. So most of the time the first setting will be enough. Engine is sometimes a little bit loud. Yeah, so how the gears are being put through and then how the RPMs change, not the smoothest we have experienced, but overall definitely fine. We'll also later give you an update of the overall consumption today on our test. Now countryside road before we get to the Autobahn, 70 kilometers an hour. Noise insulation wise, doing a good job so far. Let's see how it is later when it's a little bit quicker than on the motorway. And always interesting, you can easily activate here, for example, the cruise control, even here on the countryside lane, and activate or deactivate this active lane keeping. I love that they have put it on separate buttons because that's so easy to do that. However, there are also maybe a difference to premium vehicles that the assistance systems are good, fine, but not super smooth. So here you have some more corrections from the steering and so on. But considering the price range, it's absolutely fine. You always have to think about that the high spec here is even less than 50,000 euros as we drive it here at this moment. And it's really incredible what we get delivered for that kind of price. That's pretty cool. Also good behavior here in the corners. The engine is not the most lively one. The acceleration figure is almost at 10 seconds. Got to bear that in mind here for the pure petrol. And that's with the automatic gearbox with the 180 horsepower. Now switching it to the sport mode. This beeping, by the way, is always when the speed is being changed. So that you also have to deactivate then in the infotainment system. There are some chimes here and there from the vehicle that tend to be a little bit annoying. Also that the sound design when you open and close the tailgate, stuff like that. Minor details, but that could also easily be solved. Is there a different steering feel, by the way, in the sport mode? It's always really light, yeah, but in the normal mode it's definitely even lighter. I mean, Liab does prefer that when the steering wheel feels lighter, so it's also a matter of preference, definitely. What else happens in the sport mode? As I said, suspension is a little bit stiffer, and also the throttle input would be more spontaneous, more instant, so to speak. Suspension is doing a good job as long as the road is even, but I don't feel it's too bumpy, although it's 19-inch wheels.
I'm happy with it.
Yeah, we just what we have at home at the moment is as well a Nissan Qashqai for testing with 20-inch wheels. Yes, of course, it's a wheel size larger, but the overall composition there was way stiffer. We also had a Cupra Formentor in the same segment recently with 20-inch wheels, which was really rough. So I think the overall suspension setup here is quite balanced. That's what they did here. So I have a good feeling for the vehicle, but it's not getting too rough. Now here, transferred bumps. Yeah.
But it's okay.
If you want more comfort, don't go for the 19-inch wheels. Stick with the smaller ones, but I think that's overall okay. And now it's time for the German Autobahn, and we go to the sport mode and do an acceleration on the Autobahn when we are already at speed, as soon as we can do that, because here in Autoput always safety first, and acceleration now from like 105, let's go. 120, 130, 140. See here, yeah, the engine feels like, oh, I'm struggling. And there's not so much acceleration coming, so that's maybe the only downside. You don't have too much power with this one here, then maybe the hybrid or the plug-in hybrid to get the power with the electric boost or somewhat. And the second thing is here, 140 kilometers an hour, it's like 80 miles an hour, something like that. It's really loud, gotta say that. And also recently, we had the Nissan Qashqai, for example, there will be another video coming up. That was more silent on the higher speed. Also the Cupra Formentor was also more silent. So I had a lot of things I praised about this vehicle, especially in the interior and so on. It really feels nice from the seats. The seats are also keeping you tight in corners or when I do lane change and so on. And the suspension is really nice combination with the 19-inch wheels. It's not rough at all. At the same time, the car doesn't shake up too much, but you really hear it on the German Autobahn here, on the motorway. It is a little bit loud and also louder than the competitors. So there we found the but basically. So because all the things that the car did well, you might think, where's the catch? Where's the catch? Is there something? Is there a catch at all? Yeah, the catch is loud at higher speeds. It is predominantly maybe a German problem.
For that price, it's fine.
Yeah, for that price, it's still
totally
fine.
Yeah.
Good, super good package, and
Yeah.
maybe also German problem, because when you go down to non-German motorway speeds like 100 or something, 120 is also okay. Now it's here like
now it's okay.
112 kilometers an hour, 65, 70 miles an hour. That's better already. Yeah, that's maybe the thing that they said, like, Germans don't drive too fast. That's what Kia meant here with this non-feature, so to speak. But here also when we do lane changes, for example, really nice seats are holding us tight. How does Leah feel as a
Very good, yeah.
co-driver?
Yeah.
Gets the Leah
Love
co-driver
that car,
span.
Yeah.
Leah loves it.
Yeah.
That's nice. I really like the
And I love
dual
the
tone.
seats,
Yeah,
yes.
the seats
So
are
nice
awesome.
with the dual tone,
Seats are awesome. Yeah, maybe more space for my knee would be nice here, but everything that. So more space for the knee, more silent at higher speeds, and maybe a more lively engine, and then I would be 100% happy. But
Now
that car,
it's 90.
yeah, now it's more than 90, you know, but really good package the car delivers, and it is also fun to drive, gotta say that. Really nice. Here also at higher speeds, lane change, good fun. No matter which mode you are in the sport mode, you also have a little bit more feedback here from the steering, for example, and the material, the new material here, the animal-free one, it feels better than the outgoing material. Kia shows how it's done in many, many aspects, so that's pretty cool. Having a lot of fun with this vehicle, and besides the loud at higher speeds aspect, it's also really, really nice in the driving feeling. So that's the reason also why a lot of people still go for the why a lot of people go for the Kia Sportage, because you can do everything with that. It's suitable for the city drive, bringing the kids to school, but it's also suitable for the family holiday because you have enough space and you also have good comfort on the seats here, long haul and so on. So this vehicle is basically something everyone can do everything with this vehicle. That's why it's so successful. And average consumption on our test route today, 8 liters on 1 kilometers, 29 mpg US, 34 mpg UK. Well, yeah, could be less definitely. Pricing on the Northern American market even starts below $30,000. Here in Europe, starts at 35,000 euros. And if you go for a full spec vehicle here, like the petrol with the all-wheel drive, automatic transmission, GT-Lajn, some extras and so on, you pay 48,000 euros, which is still, in comparison to the competition, good proposition. For example, the Nissan Qashqai would be a very close competitor, which is then also about 50,000 euros as a full spec, but then as a hybrid, for example. And the Tiguan is, of course, more expensive, just to name some examples. Honda CR-V is also a competitor and so on. And I think this car works here because it looks quite cool. The interior user interface is simple, straightforward, a lot of buttons, good interior build quality, good choice also offering for animal-free materials, comfortable seats and enough space. So it's a round package, and that's why a lot of private customers go for this vehicle here. As I said, non-BS, they don't throw BS at you because they just keep things a little bit easier. That's a good thing, you know, really following the customer feedback, improving, for example, less high gloss piano lacquer and so on. So I think they also did a good job here with doing that facelift. And do you agree, or do you think something else? And would you rather go for this one here, the Kia Sportage, or one of the competitors?